Hello, good morning. Here we are with Dr. Robert E. Farrell from the United States. And my name is Giorgio Piacenza. Today is November the 6th, 2019. We are at the National University SanLuis Gonzaga from Ica, Peru. Thank you very much, sir, for coming to this conference about the three-finger Nazca specimens being held in this university. What brings you here, sir?
Well, the bodies, the tridactyl bodies. I became interested in that subject about 2 years ago when Jaime Maussan made the first, and as far as I know, only presentation about the discovery of the tridactyl bodies. And that really piqued my interest. And I've been following the topic closely. I've been corresponding and occasionally calling Jaime and finding out what the latest was. And there's a lot of stuff posted on the internet.
Yes, and what is your specialty? What did you study at the university?
Well, my doctorate's in engineering.
Engineering.
And, yes, so I was in industry for 20 years with a mechanical engineering degree, designing machinery for the plastics industry. And then I had been vice president for about 5 years when I suddenly got a letter from the Penn State University. They were starting a plastics program, and they asked, did I know anybody who used to work for me that would like to go into academia? And it took me a month to figure out it was me. So I then transferred into academia, and I taught and started this program and taught for 15 years. And then after I retired, because I was very interested in UFOs and how they work and all the observations and things, I thought I should write a book. But in the end, I decided that my book should be a series of books, science fiction books, so that I can get the person on the street to actually read it.
Yes. Well, and scientifically speaking, do you find that the evidence is valid regarding the Nazca mummies, the so-called Nazca mummies research, the three-finger ones?
I believe some of them are fake, probably, but in particular Maria, and the idea that maybe her bones were manipulated or constructed from cadavers. The thing that really brings it home, in my opinion, is the high-definition CAT scans that with the computed tomography.
Yes.
It makes it very difficult for someone to argue that those bones were assembled from some other body.
Yes, especially being so old, they would be brittle, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think this is important to be known in the U.S. then?
Should be known around the world.
Why?
It's historic. I mean, you can look at it two ways. Either this is a new evolutionary species off the tree of evolution, or these are people or creatures or beings that came from another planet. And in the last 2 or 3 decades, we've learned that the universe is teeming with planets. Probably millions of them within our own galaxy could support life.
Yes.
And the probability of life is so high that I would say most people who study that would say it's near certainty. The question is how much of it is intelligent, and I would say that there's a probability that there is intelligent life that's far beyond us as far as capabilities, and it would be no problem at all for them to visit us and to observe us for years and centuries.
Yes. How long have you been following this case of the three-finger Nazca bodies?
Since November of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that Maria in particular has some characteristics that could be amenable to further research. What kind of research could that be?
Well, one of the things that they've done is carbon-14 dating of both the little bodies and Maria. And they've dated, for instance, Maria's dated around 1,700 years ago that she died.
Yes.
But if you don't throw out the hypothesis that she could have come from another planet, because in order to use carbon-14 dating, you have to make the assumption that whatever you're dating
Yes.
lived its entire life on the planet Earth.
Yes.
So let's assume she didn't, and I think we should explore that.
Okay.
So if she didn't, then there's a unique thing about Maria in that they have found that in her gut, in her intestines, are feces. And I believe if they could carbon date the feces, that would be the true date of when she died.
All right.
And then if it's not the same as the body dating, then that might tell you something. Maybe she didn't live her whole life here.
I see. Very interesting point. If there are differences in the carbon dating between her body and the feces, then that would probably give the true time when she was here on planet Earth, if she's not from planet Earth.
That's correct, because the carbon dating process is unique to our planet, because the way carbon-14 is developed, it occurs in the upper atmosphere, maybe 60 or 100 miles out, where it's mostly nitrogen, and energy radiation from the sun periodically will convert nitrogen-14 into carbon-14, which is radioactive with a half-life of 5,730 years. And so, this carbon-14 filters down and mixes with all the other carbon in the atmosphere. And they have a historic record of basically what the ratio has been for quite a while. It hasn't been constant all the time, but they have a record. And so they can use that chart to correct if they have to. But so if she had not been here all her life, she would have less carbon-14 perhaps, and she would appear to be older.
Well, thank you very much for this insight. So please share it with the other researchers. I think it's a very important one. Thank you and welcome to Peru, sir. Thank you for your efforts.
Very exciting here. Thank you.
Good luck with your research also.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.